Welcome to the Full Charge Power Hour, take 2. I'm here with Bryan Irwin. I'm here with Eddie Gossling. Before we get started, pledge on Patreon, patreon.com/the full charge. We got to build a new studio, and I think they're trying to get us out early because we look bigger than we usually look in the cameras. We're all just commenting.
Yeah,
that we look like we put on like about 50 pounds.
I feel red too. Am I red?
You're more red. You're more red on the monitor.
All right. Okay, because I was gonna
more red on the monitor.
I was gonna ask Aaron to call 911 when I saw my face because I was starting to get concerned that I may not make it through the episode.
I feel like I look younger.
You look great.
You look great. Well, you're coming off.
Camera one.
You're coming off a Super Bowl win.
Oh man!
So you must feel phenomenal.
I do. I feel so good. We did it.
Do you use the term "we"?
Yeah.
When you talk about your
team? I catch
team?
myself and I try not to. Right?
Okay.
Like, oh man, our defense is playing so good. Ours is okay, but when I start saying "we," it's like no.
Where does that come from? Because I grew up Packer fan.
Mm-hmm.
I've never said that, so I'm
That's
always curious
so funny
like where people get it from.
That seems like the team that would say
yes,
exactly.
Your town owns them.
Exactly.
Right, that's what I would say.
I'm just curious. Have you ever weed anything?
I've never been a sports fan.
But no, just weed anything, like any field, like, we in Hollywood or like we in comedy. Like, do you weed anything?
I'm embarrassed to say I've weed in the last election, but I'm not going to wee anymore. Okay. Let's just leave it at that.
All right, that's a wrap on wee.
But
do you wee all your sports or just?
We're so good. I say things like
basketball,
that,
baseball. Do you follow anything else, and do you wee it?
I do. I wee it.
And let me ask you this: first of all, you claim a lot of cities for one person. Can I guess for you?
Yeah.
You claim Philadelphia,
mm-hmm.
Austin, Texas,
right?
Cleveland, Ohio,
mm-hmm.
and somewhere in Florida.
No Florida.
Okay. No.
San Antonio Spurs.
In Florida now. San Antonio Spurs.
Thank you.
Right.
That's because I lived there. So my dad was in the military. He's from Philly.
Yeah.
And then I lived in San Antonio for like 8 years on my own when I started comedy, San Antonio and Austin. And then so there's the claiming of those two. And then also Nebraska because I lived there for 2 different times.
Wow.
So I like the Huskers.
Are you very much like educated in the history of Johnny Carson?
I mean, yeah, he went to University of Nebraska, right? Johnny Appleseed's from like
right.
All these big Johnnies are from Nebraska.
Right.
Had you considered changing your name
to Johnny?
Yes.
Johnny Gossling. It's not a bad name.
It's pretty sexy.
Johnny G.
Yeah.
What's up? It's Johnny G show, everybody.
That's if you were from New Jersey.
Johnny G, and we're going to go over new marinaras. Be right back. Bump, bump, bump. Meatball rolls by. Hey, everybody. Johnny
How do you get started in San Antonio? Because I know there's a scene in Austin, but what happens in San Antonio?
So, like, there was a club there, the Bar Shops. Do you remember, like,
what
Center Comedy Club?
Yeah. What year was this?
Oh, so, like, 94?
Okay.
Like, I think they opened a club there maybe a couple of years before I started, and I just started going down there because there's, like, tons of good comics. I was like, they bring through so many people. And then I started doing like the open mics or whatever, like little workshops. And then I got like to MC a little bit. And then they bought the club in Austin. Yeah. So I moved up there and house MC'd there for like a year before I went on the road. Yeah.
Every week? Like almost every night?
At least like once a month because they had a rotation. And then the other nights you go to the Velveeta room. Yeah. And just like eat it because nobody's in there.
That's part of the process though, right?
It's so much part of the process.
You have to get punched in the gut somewhere, whether it's open mics or just a shitty room where people hate you no matter what you do.
I mean, I feel like you shouldn't have to do that, but
it seems like it's part of the process.
It is part of the process.
Well, they're not just going to let you headline at a fucking theater.
It's just not going to let you
wait,
go
what?
You really need to spend some time.
You can't just go down to the Paramount.
I thought... But I thought,
knock on the door.
Hey, man.
I got about 15 minutes. What do you say?
If you're persistent, I thought that's all it takes.
Keep showing up. Yeah.
So what, like, I don't even start... I have a weird career because I start in L.A. and I start in the late 90s.
Right.
What is stand-up comedy like? Like, the 80s boom is clearly over.
Right.
It's 1994. It's 1995. What's happening? Because there's a lot of good comedy out, but it's not as popular as it used to be, right?
I feel like in Austin, especially, like you would drive up there to do the Velveeta room when I was doing the rooms in San Antonio starting. But there's like a good scene. Like there's like funny comics and they all kind of hung out together. Some of them are dicks.
Sure.
Or whatever. Like anywhere.
Anywhere.
But I feel like I got lucky because the clubs that I started in, Rich Miller was booking.
Oh, okay.
So he kind of helped me get on the road quicker than it might take. Like I didn't have to like find my own dates
Yeah.
really right off the bat. So
Oh, that's nice.
as soon as it was time to go, like the first 13 weeks were for like creative entertainment, all the comedy zones in the Southeast.
Sure.
They're kind of awful.
Okay.
Like, and they might be better now, but like it was
Yeah.
always like 4 bars, and then at a weekend would be like a club at like a Ramada Inn,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh, cool, we're like someplace for 2 days,
Yeah.
and then you would drive off to the next 3 spots in a row, and then Holiday Inn Express club. So
Didn't like somebody who was helping Rich Miller like take the submission tapes and make a compilation
yeah,
of
John
like
Evans.
of like basically making fun of the people that submitted?
Yeah, he would put together a bunch of like he put together a tape of like all the bad bits.
Okay,
He
bad
thought-
bits.
something like
Okay,
that.
yeah,
He'd
yeah,
string
yeah.
them all together.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, I don't know. It's like, I feel like if you're a doctor and you can't talk about somebody's medical history,
Yeah.
it should be like that. If you submit a video to a booker, you should, with the understanding HIPAA rights, you can't like, all right, don't put this together in a big, like a mashup of bad comedy.
Was that just another one of those VHS tapes that made its rounds? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Kinda
Like the Jerky
um,
Boys, like it just
yeah.
gets passed around.
or whatchamacallit, the movies, the clown movie that was kind of, it seemed to be what made its rounds as well.
It's like the internet meets the
It?
Pony Express.
No.
Clown movie.
The one that
wait.
Bobcat Goldthwait
Oh
made.
yeah, Shakes the Clown.
Shakes the Clown.
Yeah, but that
thank
actually
you.
But
came
that was
out.
like a movie.
Yeah.
No, but
with actors.
But wasn't that one that kind of was just it
Oh,
kind
you
of
mean like
had a second
people-
life
Yeah,
in like
I think it was
Second
like
Life.
a cult life
Yes,
kind of
yeah.
following.
But this diss video was just it
Yeah, it was
only
like-
had one life. It was like what would
but
be
everywhere or only at that club?
This tape got passed around to comics.
Oh, okay.
And it was like a YouTube video, but without YouTube.
Right,
It was
okay.
just like this
yeah,
cheap
just
compilation.
ended up places, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it was like you don't want to. I mean, you don't want to be on it.
No,
right?
Did it ever make it into the hands of somebody that was watching it and then found out they were on it?
I mean,
it has to have.
Yeah,
maybe,
right.
but I think also the videos that he was pulling the content from were a lot of people that weren't going to ever work in the biz anyways.
Sure.
But just thought like they were in their basement in front of like a sheet doing comedy and putting in laughter.
I've
So-
seen a video like that because I used to work at Lightning Dubs, which was a video duplication place, and they're like, Matt, you got to see this. And there was this guy that obviously filmed his shit in his basement with like a fake brick wall,
I feel
and
like-
it was clearly the same laughter over and over and over and over again.
And now
It
we
was
call that
wild.
TikTok.
Yeah. He's like, I'm an Asian lover, you know what I mean, AKA I eat the pussy. And the fake crowd is like, yeah.
You can hear the dryer gung, 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 gung behind the wall.
Which we were all like, are Asians known for eating pussy? Like,
Oh yeah, I
you
don't
saying?
really. Yeah, I don't get the reference, sir.
me either.
No, for eating pussy.
Oh my God. So you stay in Austin. Like, what's the Austin scene like? How long were you there?
I was there for like maybe 2 years,
A
year and a half, and then I bounced on the road,
Yeah. Okay.
and then just kind of like lived on the road.
Right.
That's where I met you.
Yep.
That's where I met you through Megan.
Yeah.
my
So
wife.
So one of the first things I ever did on the road was the Seattle International Comedy Festival,
International.
which means there's people from Canada and the U.S.
Okay.
and
Asia, eating pussy.
Yeah. All the
Coming in
pussy
town.
eaters came
All
to
the
town.
Pussy eaters came
All
in.
those white people are striking out with the women because everybody's satisfied. Yeah, so that was like one of the first things I did. I hung with your wife, Megan,
Right.
who was Megan Mooney back then. Is she still Megan Mooney?
When she performs on
Yeah,
stage.
right. And there was another guy named Pete Johansson who was from Canada,
Pete
who lived
Johansson.
in the U.S. at the time. And it was the first time I like hung with comics who did the road, because all I ever hung with was open micers who were like optimistic.
Like in the LA area.
Yeah, who were like optimistic about comedy and like, oh, working would be so cool and everything. And then I met Pete and Megan, and they were like just shitting all over the whole job, shitting all over like this club, this comic, that comic. And I was like, wow, this is like, oh, so like you also hate the job? Like it was like news to me,
Like,
you
wait,
know?
what's happening?
Yeah, it was like totally news to me.
Deflating everything that you had created in your head, the fantasy.
But it was also kind of fun,
Yeah.
you know? The point was
It's great.
Pete and Megan made it, and I got sent home. And I think Pete like tanked it.
Did you stay and hang out though?
No,
Watch out.
I went back.
Gotta leave.
And the worst thing was, and it was the same thing as Last Comic Standing, I told work, like, yeah, I'm going to this contest. I might be back in a week. I might be back in 3 weeks. Probably 3 weeks, you know.
Right.
I had that youthful,
said the
optimistic.
yeah.
And then like the next thing you know, I'm back and everybody knew.
But I feel like you stuck it out for a few weeks because because Megan just talks about like she hung with you and loved it.
I think
that was the best part of it for her.
Impact.
Yeah, the impact.
I think it was a combination of like that was the fun week for her, and then like all the fun people went home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like all the youthful
Your crew's
novice.
gone, they're gone.
Yeah, we went home, we got cut, and then like the novelty wore off after like week 2.
So like if you win the first week, you get paid at the beginning of the second week.
Yeah.
But then you have to last the second week and you get cut, you don't get anything.
Right.
Ugh.
Yeah, so you only get paid for the weeks you survive.
This sounds awful.
Oh yeah.
Is this still going?
I think it's definitely still
Who
going.
books it? We could do this. I wanna go there.
When our friend Daniel Tosh did his first theater in Seattle in 2007, I was on the show, and we actually had dinner with the booker.
Oh, really?
That did that.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, he was like there.
Is he still doing it? I guess he is.
I don't
He said
know.
so, maybe.
I mean, it's 25 years ago, dude.
There's no more festivals, no more competition. There shouldn't be competitions.
Well,
we don't need competitions in comedy.
No, now it's
festivals.
Now it's just straight roast.
Nobody wins.
Well,
nobody needs to win. Nobody needs to lose.
I think Megan won.
I've never won, so I agree with you. No one needs to win.
Yeah.
I think she got to like the final week, right?
I think she did. Yeah.
That's great. Oh man, that seems like I can't imagine going and living in somebody's house with a bunch of other people right now.
Oh, dude,
it seems like they may have turned that into a show.
Yeah, that was last. It turns out it was a precursor to Last Comic Standing. Yeah.
And so is the compilation tape of bad comedy.
Oh, dude,
which is also Last Comic Standing, which is that was part of the angle.
Right.
It was American Idol was the first to do that, right? Put the humiliation stuff up front.
I forgot about that. There was a cruelty aspect of it too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was the shift in America.
That kind of was.
Start doing that kind of shit to people. That was entertainment.
Let's shit on your dreams before you're ready. Let's put you on network television before you're ready.
I feel like there's somebody we know that they wanted to make somebody that we know that was talented was told like we'll keep your stuff in, but we're going to use it as part of the make fun of stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like because they feed on the desperation of like anything is good.
Yeah.
And they were like, no.
So they were like, "Don't put it in there."
Yeah, they wouldn't sign the waiver.
How do you have control?
Okay, that's what it is. So they give you the waiver afterwards, which is really dumb on their part.
Yeah.
But you can just be like, "No, I'm not signing this shit."
Yeah.
I don't know if I would. I might be like, "Okay, it's gonna help,"
but
it won't, right?
If you were 1 year in, and this is back when TV credits counted,
it would tank you.
So you could bullshit on your resume with Last Comic Standing.
Okay.
And they might not check because unless you're on the bad stand-up reel. Well, there's no YouTube. There's no nothing.
Nobody's watching it.
You think a club booker is going to spend time
digging through the episodes?
No way. No way.
To find it?
No way.
Effort.
You just need
Once it gets to effort, you can just move on.
Yeah.
The only time people put effort into something is if you have a certain level of success, they're going to put a lot of effort into taking you down.
Sure.
That's when effort comes in.
Right.
Past that, not interesting.
Unless you submitted to Rich Miller, then they'll just take you down right away.
That's so funny. I forgot about that tape. I don't know that I watched it, front to back.
I've never seen it. I just heard that there was an idea.
I know it existed. I know I've seen some of the videos of like the people downstairs in their basement doing comedy.
Right. When I first heard about it, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But now that I've had my experience on the internet, I think it's just so mean.
Oh yeah. I think you're right. I think that's why people were laughing.
Yeah, totally. So you did like a lot of road work in the 90s, right?
Yeah. I did.
And so was it like super fun back then?
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
But after a certain amount of time, you get tired of chasing money around the country.
Yeah.
You just want to have a place to go, like just live.
Yeah.
Like normal life.
Right.
Where were you living at that point when you started doing stand-up?
Kind of like I had a Ford Taurus that I would just kind of like and get to other towns and early, get in a hotel. If there's a condo, get into the condo early.
Okay.
And just kind of hang out.
Yeah.
But
you spent almost the whole week was travel and perform.
Yeah, travel and perform.
That
travel
was
and perform. My parents were living in Ohio at the time, so I'd visit them.
Right.
Well, so you literally did not have a place to hang. You did not.
Yeah, no. For a little bit, I didn't have a spot.
You were not paying rent somewhere.
Yeah.
In America. Okay.
Just paying on my tours.
Because I met you in '99 in Milwaukee.
Right.
At that point, where were you living?
I mean,
still same?
Yeah, for sure.
So when did you move out to California?
Well, I moved to like New York before
Okay.
California, and had a place there for like a year with Megan.
Right.
Then we got married there, and then we moved out to came out here in like 2002.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then ever since then I've had apartments and houses and stuff like that. I've lived in homes.
Homes, indoors.
I feel like I made it.
That's
I don't
nice.
live in a car anymore, so
Yeah.
it was pretty good.
I did that. Like when I first started doing the road, I was like, hey man, I'm wasting money on rent.
Right, you don't need
I'm
it.
just gonna like, you know, if I need a place to stay, I'm gonna stay at like the Cecil Hotel downtown,
You would find
or like the
little-
Jolly Roger, and I
Yeah.
did it, and it was a total mistake. Like I got cocky because I stayed at the Jolly Roger, which is in Venice.
Okay.
So you're at the beach,
Is it really nice? Because
It's not nice.
but you're at the beach.
but you're at the beach, and then I'm like, I got cocky, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna try this Cecil Hotel downtown, which there's a whole
I was
documentary
just gonna say,
about
yeah,
this
yeah.
hotel.
Oh, yeah?
because so many people have died there,
Yeah.
and it's
Willingly?
a really dark
Like
experience.
Well, you know, so you
Murdered?
don't know about the
murdered.
More than a documentary, it's a docu-series.
Okay, it's a docu-series, and
I'm out.
people there's like, if
I'm
you go
out.
on Wikipedia, there's a whole thing like people drop babies out of the windows, and
What?
people were
a
murdered.
lot of drug addicts there, I believe. Correct.
Yeah.
Part of its history, and then there was I only know this because I was working downtown at the time.
It's still open?
There was the girl that was traveling, and she, I guess, had a mental breakdown and climbed into the water tank on top and drowned. They couldn't find her for a long time until
So-
they started complaining about the water tasting weird.
oh, you're
brown.
drinking a person.
Yeah, you're drinking a dead person.
Oh.
And so the guy went up there and he's like, "Oh, that's why."
Isn't there supposed to be fluoride in water though?
Yeah, I mean,
Not on the this.
If
these
you
are the
own the
tanks on
water, if
top.
you have your
This
own
is a
tank,
water
you don't have to
tank
put fluoride in it.
I don't know. Well, I mean, come on.
I feel like
is it
that
going
would
to
preserve
stop
the
that?
body. I don't know how that works.
Oh.
the body wasn't intact.
Gross.
You know, it's not
But
like
you're
a-
getting.
yeah,
it's
you know
pretty
what
bad.
you're getting. Yeah.
And the place is still open, the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah.
I think they've
This
redone it
docu-series
since then.
came out and didn't hurt business at all.
Well, I think everybody kind of at that point already knew everything about they needed to know about
It-
that place.
It hurt business.
It's the first I've heard of it.
They filmed a season of American Horror Story there, just because that's the vibe of that show. They're like, we like real haunted places.
And that's the spot.
Yeah. So I did that. I paid for a week because they have weekly rates. That's why
Oh,
I
okay.
went there.
Right.
And I just
What was a weekly rate there?
it was like three. So I had jokes about this stuff. It was like $275 if you didn't want a bathroom, like $325 if you did want your own bathroom.
Okay.
But there's a shared bathroom in there, just so we're
But there's
clear.
a shared bathroom for $275, and I splurged
that? Oh, you
with the
went-
$325.
Yeah, of course. Treat yourself
And
nice.
I just remember like they're like, you checking out a day early, and I remember I was just like, I'm checking out 6 days late. Like this was like a really scary experience, and it scared me straight to where like I'm like, okay, I'm willing to have roommates again. I'm willing to play the game,
I'm going to get an apartment.
and that's when I got
My own
I
spot.
rented a room in Westchester, close to LAX.
Okay.
And I mean, but I was still like broke. I remember, but so you could, the upside and the downside was you could walk to LAX from there,
Oh, that's good.
which is great, saves you money, but like totally illegal to walk on LAX property. And it
Really?
shows because there's no, now with the Uber situation, it's different. But back then, like I'm definitely, you ever crossed a road where you're like, I should not be crossing this.
Like every
this road.
gig in the Midwest.
Right. Because
Like,
like,
you're at a hotel and you're like, well, what do I do? There's no sidewalks
yeah.
to get around. People yell slurs at you when
Totally.
you're walking around. They like throw things at your head.
Yeah, because
It's
you're walking
like-
next to a highway.
A highway.
A fucking highway.
People they see you walking along the highway and they hate you instantly.
They think you're David Banner.
Local people, they think you're coming in like you're Rambo. You're coming in to just clean things up.
Yeah,
Just don't mess with me. I just want to go to county line.
Yeah.
I want to eat and
So-
then leave.
Yeah.
And they're hassling you.
I want to eat at this fucking Shoney's. Give me
just
a
want to
goddamn
go
break.
in here.
Yeah. Some people stop, like in a nicer area, like in Indianapolis, people would stop and be like, do you need a ride? Are you okay? And you're like, I'm just going to this TGI
Wouldn't-
Fridays.
I would be scared if they stopped. Like,
Yeah.
oh, here it comes.
Exactly.
Here we go.
Yeah, I
Take
know.
my watch off, my glasses. Looks like we're gonna fight. I want to break things.
It was a minivan, so I thought I'd be all right. You don't want to get inside.
So you would walk over to the airport. Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah, totally. In fact, in the Beastie Boys book, which of course I've read, there's a part where like they knew the keyboard player or like some percussionist was crazy because he walked to LAX.
And that's how they knew.
That's how he knew he was
insane.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
LAX specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And Tosh used to always laugh at me because I'll show up at the airport like 3 hours early.
But it's even like one gig you guys were done, and you said pull over here, and you just jumped out of the car.
What?
Weren't you coming back from a gig with them one time, and you were like, the area they were going to drive by, and you said just pull over here, and you just kind of got out and hopped over the
That was recently.
like the guardrail of the highway or something.
No,
I don't really know the whole story,
That's not.
but
it.
they just dropped you off on the way.
If it's what
That
I'm-
happened to me. I had a guy that did not want to get off the freeway exit.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll give you a ride home. I was like, cool. And then he's like, oh, I forgot to tell you the part where I'm not going to get off and have to get back on.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll slow down by the exit ramp. You need to jump out of the car
Oh, my
and walk
God.
the rest of the way. And I was like, you're funny.
Was
He's
he
like,
here? In
Yeah.
LA?
And he was like, no, I'm serious. And sure as shit, he slow rolled me and I had to jump out of the car and run off to the side so I didn't die to get
Dude,
home.
That's terrifying.
Wait, the car's still moving, or did he
Yes,
pull
he never.
over?
No, he couldn't. He said he was on the 10 freeway heading west.
So he really
I
got
lived in-
slow
I
enough
lived in
where you
West
could get
LA.
out.
Yes,
not
and he was
turn
like,
an
I'm
ankle.
not getting
Did you have
off
a
this
bag?
exit.
Luggage?
Huh?
Did you have luggage, or just
I don't
like a
re-
one-night
no.
gig, like just a show?
Even if I did, I don't think probably a bag.
I
I don't. It was
That's hysterical.
fucked up. Yeah.
I was doing a gig in like upstate New York with a comic, and we were driving back to the city.
The cat
And he
skills.
got a flat tire. No, it was just Nyack. He got a flat tire, and instead of going to the right shoulder, he went to the left.
No.
Like by the Jersey Wall,
Where you
and we're
died.
just like stuck. We're stuck like on the highway, and I'm just holding up my. It was my birthday too. It was my 40th birthday, and I'm like, you know how you think like your life's a movie? You're like, obviously, I'm gonna die on my 40th birthday.
Uh-huh.
This is poetic.
This is how it's
you know.
written.
So I'm just holding up like my fucking iPhone, like, hey, people here, like, don't fucking hit us.
Like trying to get people's
Yeah, and so he calls AAA. I see a chance. I run as fast as I can to
Through
the other
traffic?
side. There's traffic. You can see it.
Yeah.
And it's coming at you 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But you just gotta go.
Yeah.
And so we got
You
to the other
believed in
side.
yourself.
And we jumped down
right.
jumped down.
I couldn't. I would see that and like,
Dude.
it couldn't be a bigger gap before I think this is safe for me.
There
to do
is
it.
no gap.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
you-
know
no
why
gap.
you did that,
But you
then-
could, because you're not safe sitting. I'm sitting at the Jersey
Well,
Wall.
you're right.
In the middle. So there's cars to my left and there's cars to my right. And I'm like, I gotta get out of here because I'm gonna get hit.
Even little things are popping off the tires, hitting you. Like,
Anything.
Little
Anything,
nails.
dude. Anything. So I
Yeah.
just got the fuck out. When the AAA guy got there and he had to change the tire on that side of the
Ugh,
road,
you had to be upset.
he was so fucking pissed.
steaming.
And then, like anybody with AAA, they're like, yeah, but you're AAA and you
Ugh.
kind of got to do this.
Oh, yeah, man. Does AAA? It's a tow truck situation.
It's a change the tire, battery, tow
They
truck
he could
situation.
hook it up and pull. Well, he's not going to hook it up. He's going to change the tire. That's it.
He kind of
How
should
come the
have.
guy could? Did he not have a tire?
I didn't know because I was not changing that tire in the middle of
Right.
the fucking highway, so I didn't even ask.
Did you even tell him when he was doing it? Like, bro, otherwise.
Yeah. But
no,
then
no,
it
no,
just
no.
like it just like happened. You know what I mean?
Were you over that side, and it'd be tough to get over that way?
I don't know why at this point I'm
He just
telling the
wanted to
story.
Eddie and I are going to solve this problem
You go back to the right
regardless
side.
of whether it happened or
Yeah,
not.
you just
You go back to the
go
right
that
side.
way.
Yeah.
We didn't do that.
He probably didn't want to ride on his rim, and he was afraid he was going to wreck the rest of his car.
Well.
But fuck that. That's better than dying.
Anyways,
It
I'm
is
alive.
better than dying. That's a good point.
And I'm going to tell you, as a guy who had a lot of early call times in Southern California, let's just say I've seen a few bodies on the freeway.
Okay,
And
Oh.
that's why you should never, ever fucking run across the freeway. So,
right. Do you stand in the middle of the freeway ever?
No, you just don't fucking move.
Oh,
you just
man.
literally.
I like that you got out of there, though. You lived to tell the story.
I mean, it was clear. It was just like one of those things where like
When he,
it's still kind of a risk
Got the-
because like you could trip.
yeah,
You
yeah,
could,
no,
you
for
could
sure.
break your ankle for some fluke,
Right.
You know, and there you are dead.
You're just dead.
Pull
Yeah.
a hammy
Yeah.
right in the middle of it all. You haven't worked out for this moment.
And this dude's got to watch you die.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait for AAA still
Yeah.
to change his tire.
Right.
And still come up with a story as to how it's not his fault.
And of course,
Exactly.
AAA gets there before the ambulance.
And then, did you call him? Did he call you like, "Hey, the tire's fixed"? And then you're like, "Well, I'm over here now." Or did
We
you,
all ended up on the other
I'm over
side.
here now. Yeah, I saw you run and screaming.
Can you come get me?
We all ended up in a ditch on the side of the road in the woods where cars are just
All right,
like
I'm hoping you never got in a car with this human being
I
again.
love
in
it.
your
I think
entire
we did
life.
the same gig like a year later.
Did somebody else
Same
drive?
car. No, he drove.
And you thought, what
Who
I
was
thought
it? Do you
next
remember his
time-
name?
Yeah, I'm not ratting him out.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a shout out. Like,
yeah. No.
yes, AAA. That seems like a pretty. Got some money.
I got AAA too. It was
I
me,
haven't
all right? It
too
was
now.
all me. No,
Oh,
it wasn't me.
You ever try to use AAA to get like like there's AAA discounts.
Yeah.
So I'll go to the website. I'm going to buy a ticket. I'm like, oh, let me see a AAA discount. It never works. It's like you put your number in. It's not a good deal. You have to pick certain flights that you can't possibly use. It's like what a joke.
Yeah, but AAA is so cheap,
Just to have it.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I have it. I have a card
Just for
right now.
emergencies.
You
Yeah, you're
just
right.
show
The other
it.
benefits, though, I got a pretty decent hotel rate using that.
You know what? We have to stop talking about AAA.
Yeah, I'm
and
not.
our
Well,
discounts.
it's brought to you by.
It's like
Okay.
No, man,
the algorithm's going to be like, what? I don't even know who this is for.
this is what we do.
I don't know what this is.
This is
Just
what
a
we
bunch of
do.
old dudes talking about
I'm talking
insurance.
about their discounts.
So do you have an American Airlines credit card? What do you? How do
get
you
points.
do it?
I get point. I get
Yeah.
Bonvoy Marriott points. So yeah.
So
The Points podcast.
So obviously you're pretty much off the road in around 2009 because you're co-creator of
Yeah.
Tosh.0.
Started
I have this
Tosh.0.
right?
That was great because it was like, I think Daniel knew I didn't want to like live in. Well, I liked living in New York, but our place was coming up for like you couldn't live there more than a year
Oh,
because they
right.
didn't want long-term people renting.
Right.
So we had to find a new place, and it was so expensive because we kind of got a deal through a family member to stay to like a pretty good price.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, let's just move out here. So we just moved out to LA. Dan was like, move by the water near LAX.
Yeah.
Because why not live by the ocean? If
Why
you're gonna-
not?
So we
Especially
did.
especially since there's a comedy club right there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Comedy and Magic.
Comedy Magic's there, and then LAX is like a quick 20-minute trip from the house.
That's a big deal.
And then because we're still doing a lot of road, me and Megan, she would
Yeah.
do colleges, clubs. I would just do clubs. I never
Right.
really got into the college market that much.
Yeah, me
Didn't-
neither.
Didn't like. I always
Barely
felt
in.
weird getting in. Like I felt weird going to the colleges. Yeah, so moved out here, and then they pitched the show to Daniel, and he knew I wanted to get into writing.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, like I'll try to like
Right.
hammer out some ideas with you, and yeah, and then they picked it up. Like we had to do like a play.
I was in the play.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the presentation.
Right. So there was a Tosh.0. There was two different versions of it.
Right.
I was in the first one where we just did this theater in on Santa Monica Boulevard. I think it was the Hudson Theater. And
Yeah,
it was like a live pilot taping.
100 people
And
could come to it or something.
my role was, do you remember the you just got kicked in the nuts thing?
Right.
I dressed up like that guy and I came out and kicked Daniel in the nuts in the middle of the presentation.
Like the clown that would just come out and
Yeah.
pop somebody in the
yeah,
nuts. No, I
my
remember
friend,
those videos. That's
and I
right.
pointed at the camera and
Yeah.
go, "You just been kicked in the nuts." And he wore a cup the whole pilot.
Yeah, we were
just
just
for
trying
that
to figure
moment.
out how to like, we'll just do all these internet. We had the viral video alert whoop, with the whoop whoop, the
Yeah.
woo woo guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the sound.
We're barely in the lead here. Based on reaction videos,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
they showed on the monitor for the audience 2 girls, 1 cup.
Yep.
Do you know this thing?
Oh yeah,
the audience-
everybody remembers that. I mean,
So-
that was
some people might not know that
I
are
like
listening
people
to this.
that don't know. Go ahead, find
Two
it.
Yeah, well,
two women shit into a cup.
and then
Like a pint glass.
Yeah, and then
if you want to
they
be specific, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But
It was
they're-
like more of a. It was, I don't want them teacup. They filled it up too.
but they were naked, right? Like there was some kind of sexual aspect to it.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, there's the point at after they fill it,
yeah,
then they start to eat it
they eat the shit.
and then kiss each other. That's what it was. They're kissing
Right.
each other through the.
But they film them shit in the cup, and then they eat the cup, and the
Yeah.
audience went bananas. The people love it.
Yeah,
Right?
we showed it to them, and then we just
We taped them.
we just were supposed to be like the biggest reaction video, like because that was the big thing.
I mean, they naturally loved it. It wasn't the hype. You got to really love this shit.
No, they didn't
They-
love it. I'm joking.
Yeah,
Everyone
no,
was
right.
trying not
I
to
was going to
vomit.
say we're in a disturbed society. If you guys surprised by the reaction of this,
Because the
Okay.
big thing was like reaction videos to that video.
Yes.
So we were like, ours was like the biggest one ever filmed, the live studio audience. And I think that might have sold the show.
Maybe
That was one of those things where like, that was
Maybe.
kind of, that's a creative way because we never show the video.
Right.
We just show them watching it and then people would go.
Yeah.
But you
maybe
showed the
find it.
real video.
to them.
To them.
No, as I'm saying, the real video was
yeah.
actually shown.
Yeah,
Yep.
so the Comedy Central executives were there watching 2 Girls, 1 Cup and reacting. They're in the audience reacting. They're part of the
Yeah.
audience.
That was good.
Which reminds me that one of the few times we worked together, the first thing we did, we went to Go Bananas.
Oh, yeah.
And we went back in the kitchen and they're like, "Hey, you got to check out this video."
Right.
And it was 1 man, 1 jar.
Yeah, one guy, one jar. And it's awful.
It's awful.
There's man, I was like, talk about like people like the internet's dangerous these days. man, back then, like there was no guardrails. There's nobody
He's-
like even watching videos, like, oh, take that down. Take it's just everything was out there.
He sticks a glass jar in his ass and then it breaks.
He like lowers himself onto it, right?
Yeah, and then
it breaks.
Yeah, and that was just in my head all weekend, and I was hungover one
Yeah,
morning.
they're watching that in the kitchen.
Right, the
And they're
kitchen.
also making like
There's wings being made.
there's wings.
3 feet
They
from
don't
there.
do that anymore.
Yeah.
I'll be there in October. They don't watch those videos.
Go Banana Cincinnati.
Yeah, Blue Ash. Come
They're
on out.
they're everywhere. When I
Montgomery
was
County.
working with the band Citizen King. Have you guys ever heard of them? I've
Citizen
I've
King?
seen Better Days.
I've
King.
seen better
Okay,
days.
yeah.
They were on K-Rock for a little bit.
I know the song.
So when we were recording that album, we were up in San
I do.
Francisco. You were what?
I know the song.
He knows the song.
It's good.
Yeah, so-
You just don't want to sing it.
But I just don't know name. I don't know some bands.
That's totally fine.
They'll say the song. I'm like, oh, I know that song. I probably know 10 of their songs.
The studio we're recording at, kind of just like comedy. Everybody's got their set of tapes of like, you guys seen this one? It's like, why is it every place you go,
Oh,
someone's
great.
like,
Yeah.
you guys, there's
Yeah.
always the box of VHS tapes that everybody loves. See, that's the one thing I think everybody misses now. You don't get that.
Right.
When you go to these places, there's always someone's like, let me go get the special box that I
Yeah.
like to show people of the
Okay.
stuff.
Yes.
Have you seen
And-
the blank?
And so this was 2008, so the internet was obviously alive and
Yeah.
well
Yes.
and kind of what it is today, but there was still this aspect of, I'm not going to trust you to watch this video on your own. I don't know how to send it to you,
Yeah.
so let's watch it together
Together,
on a
yeah.
monitor.
Okay, yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
watch it together on a TV. In the kitchen, somehow
Yeah.
there was a TV in the kitchen.
So ours
right.
was the waiting room, and it was the Chuck Berry video.
Oh, the P-tapes.
So I don't know that I've ever seen those videos, but I've just heard. of them.
You don't need to.
Right.
I'm just
I
throwing
get it.
that out there.
No, okay, yeah. But it's peeing or pooping?
No, it was peeing, and then he farted. And the quote that everybody had for the rest of the recording session was,
You farted.
"Now you can smell my fart." That's what he said after, while he was peeing on her. So these guys just kept saying that quote, and to this day, man, this is like 1996 or
Berry.
7
Poor Chuck
or whatever
Berry.
it was.
What a gross
To this day,
person.
that quote has still not escaped my head. Every once in a while, it'll just pop up. Of now you can smell
Was
my
the
fart.
Was he in a studio when he did this? Was it a hotel? Do you remember that?
Boy,
Curious as to like.
yeah.
It's crazy because the man
he does
basically
this.
invented rock and roll.
Right.
And now that's part of his memory. And for
Yeah.
Citizen King, that's the memory.
Yeah, now
Yeah,
you can
that's
smell
how-
my fart.
That's how a lot of people right now are going to find out about Chuck Berry. They're going to go find that and then like, oh, he made music too.
You know how lucky Jimi Hendrix is that he died early?
I mean, that's
Or like Jim Morrison?
that's
like,
a good point.
Like, what about these people? They what if they had like these little
Right.
things in their future that they would be known for?
The little
like, can you-
secrets.
Yeah, like a maybe like an overweight Jim Morrison. Well, he did get overweight, but you know what I mean. Like, what if you're known? What if you're not perceived?
Does
in
he
that
look like? Did he look
same-
like me in 4K?
You put him
before
on
he
this
passed?
monitor, he's
Okay.
gonna look about 500 pounds.
Jim Morrison. Did he get beefy?
He got beefy
Towards
off
the end?
alcohol. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Get bloated.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what's like a typical? I've always been curious. I never asked you or Daniel. What's a typical week at Tosh.0 when you guys were filming? Because it looked like so much fun.
So we would film on Thursdays was the live taping,
Right.
And then Friday we would write jokes for like we did the web redemptions. So we'll
Yeah.
do like whatever the theme or topic was going to be leading into that next week's video.
Right.
Write the rant, kind of like all the jokes for that.
Yeah.
And also the breakdown, which was like we break down a video. Which
Yeah.
people always like, why do you break it down? We can break it down ourselves. Whatever.
No,
It's
because
just
you
like-
guys are professionals. That's
we're
why.
professionals. We're professional comment writers.
Yeah,
okay?
dude.
We know
come
what we're
on.
doing.
Right. Exactly.
And then Monday we would write all the jokes for Act 1,
Yeah.
like all those videos. And then Tuesday and Wednesday we had like anything to shoot, like little videos
Right.
where we put Daniel in things, like Daniel videos.
Yeah.
We'd do all those Tuesday and Wednesday, and then like by Wednesday night I would air on Tuesday
Yeah.
also. So Tuesday night we'd stay late at work and kind of like live tweet the show.
Right.
Where Dan would live tweet it, we'd eat and just kind of like watch, and then Wednesday everything get edited up and then kind of look at it a couple times, and then Thursday rehearsals all day, like some read throughs, and then the live taping, and then just again and again for 12
And so-
years.
12 years, dude. How great is that?
No, it was great. I mean, had 4 more years on the deal too. Had COVID not come through and just like wiped everything out.
Yeah.
So that's when it shut down. Got
It did shut
okay.
down, yeah. But it was a 4-year deal. It was also like Chris McCarthy guy that like took over. I think it's Chris McCarthy took over Viacom and Comedy Central and all those the jewels of the Viacom world, Paramount Plus, and all
So-
that. And he just kind of like cut everything. It's like, I don't know if you go to Comedy Central now, it's just like The Offices. They show The Office. I think there's still Daily Show, right?
Daily Show still,
And South Park.
but there's no stand-up comedy.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like that used to be the place you would go watch stand-up, the half-hour specials or Premium Blend, or like they had so many kind of cool shows for comics to kind of move through,
Totally.
and then from there propel them into like their own shows, right? Well, it's not the sitch anymore.
But MTV is Viacom too, right?
Right.
And
Which
they
It's
don't
the
have
same,
music.
They did the same thing.
yeah, everybody's just kind of bailed on what they did.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's like going to Chuck E. Cheese and it's hot dogs now. Like
Yeah.
what? And
No,
there's no animatronics.
That's like, yeah.
Like we're just gonna come here for the hot dogs? Yeah, 'cause it's just cheaper. We got rid of the animatronics and the pizza. Hot dogs are cheaper. Like, oh, okay, but it's not. It's different. It's not the same.
We should do that. We should like book comedy gigs and then just play our new like singer-songwriter songs on an acoustic guitar
did
with
a
no
song
punchlines.
in
We did a song.
Cincinnati, yeah.
We did a song, and it was so funny because so I woke up hungover on Sunday morning at like 6 a.m. You know when that happens when you drink too much?
You
As
just
part
can't
of the
sleep,
reason-
Yeah.
part of
Your
the
body
reason-
wants to punish you.
I don't drink anymore. And I woke up early and I was sick and I had the One Man, One Jar footage in my head and it was just playing over and over
Coming off,
and
yeah.
over. And I was just begging the Lord to like fall asleep again. And then you called me at like, I think on like the hotel phone line, maybe a text.
Probably.
You're like,
not.
come on over. I'm recording a song.
Wait, this is at 6 o'clock in the morning?
It was earlier. It was
7 or
earlier.
8 maybe?
It was earlier than you would imagine. And I
Probably
go,
felt like so early for you if you were like hammered in the head still.
It wasn't because I'd been up for 2 hours, 3 hours, and I'm
Okay.
like, thank you for anything to distract me from the one man,
throbbingness.
one jar video that's playing in my head on repeat. So I go over there,
Which inspired me to create. Come
So
on over
different
here.
to both you guys
yeah, no,
are-
we're
yeah,
different. I'm
it
like,
expe-
oh,
it-
why am I not doing things like this guy? I'm not going to do that, but I need to get my name out there.
so we record this song, but it's on like primitive technology to where
Yeah.
like you can't hear the song while you're recording.
I forget.
In
even
other words,
how
it's like he'd play me the song,
Frankenstein.
and then he'd be like, "All right, now go," but you
Yeah.
can't hear the song.
no, we didn't have. There's no.
You
we
can't
didn't have
keep on.
monitors
You
or
can't
anything.
keep on beat. So like I sing my thing. Your verse was actually pretty good.
I don't even know what it was.
I remember it. It was like we are the comedians,
And then yours
we
was
are-
like, then you did like, we picked like old, like really bad jokes. I just flew in and my arms are tired or whatever. Like we wove all these really bad,
yeah,
like
that was part of the lyrics.
Catskill type of jokes
Wait,
in
was
there.
this like some sort of like Band-Aid kind of
No,
like,
no. This
song?
is
You
in a
guys were
hotel.
doing it for charity?
Oh,
Well,
no.
listen. This is how it goes because we're just doing this song for fun.
Where are you gonna? Are we playing it?
Well, let me tell you about it. So,
Oh, yeah.
So, no, today, no, this song's
No,
buried.
you can't play it because we let it off with.
Here's what happened.
Yeah.
We sampled a comedian who had the right to use some very terrible words, but we kind of had no business sampling this comedian.
We just put him in the front.
Yeah.
And that's how it started, and then our song begins.
So it's Sunday, and Sunday can be a fun day.
Do whatever you want.
because it's like you can't get fired. You just
Right.
You had a good weekend. It was a good weekend, so we
Yeah.
were like we're all jacked up, and so we're talking about it so much that like I'm opening for Eddie, and I start talking about, hey, we taped the song. It's pretty good. Make sure Eddie plays you the song. And then Eddie's talking about the song when he's on stage. And dude, it was an incredible show. Like it was just such a great show.
And the
And
club,
then-
yeah, we'll play it too because they'll do anything. They're all
Right.
game for whatever.
They have no idea what they're playing, though. They had not.
They
heard
might
it.
have heard it. I
Oh,
don't
okay,
know.
okay.
They know it's not as bad as One Man, One Jar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
yeah, exactly. Their level of like what's
Yeah.
inappropriate is
So
like.
so we play this
different.
song after Eddie gets off stage, and it's got such horrible words in the beginning. It's not us. It's what we sampled.
Right, somebody else but the person's so mad. They're like, no, like they were angry, and then they had to like put out some fires with people, like, oh no, it's like it's a different comic, it's not those guys and whatever. And so it became like, but they kind of laughed it off or whatever, and then that person was like, oh, I get it now, and it was that comic I get, but it was just it was
But
such a bad idea.
It was just this thing
To
where
kill
like
me
we had
Sunday.
such a great energy going,
Yeah.
and then like just left turn bad energy.
That's showbiz, baby.
Rookie move.
That's show business.
What can you say?
That's how it happens.
Yeah.
Gave you the memory. That's what you do it for, right? The journey.
Right.
Right?
And then you got to get back up off the mat.
Yeah.
And then start walking on the side of freeways again, like David Banner or Rambo.
All of them.
Yeah, so you are going back out on the road now.
Yeah. I just finished up. You had texted me a few times to come do the podcast, but
Yeah.
I was in Key West,
Nice.
then Minneapolis, and then St. Louis.
Right.
And
So had you
this-
taken a break because of the writing?
Yeah, it was great.
How
Like, it was
how
fun
far?
to-
How long between like you took, or would you sprinkle in from time to time?
I mean, club weeks. I didn't really do a lot of club weeks.
so you're still kind of working from time to time. You never
Yeah, I would
you
open
never
up-
stopped.
Right. But I
Okay.
mean, there was some huge gaps where I was about to go back on stage. Like, you're going to have to go to the club and work all week. And you're like, oh, man, I haven't done that in a minute.
Totally.
So,
It's
like,
like,
just-
can I do this?
Yeah,
You
and
know?
then go up is just so easy still. I mean, it's
Well,
like,
but you
whatever.
started when?
This is my second time ever up. I was my special.
Yeah.
No, I was like, I
Right.
did Premium Blend, my second open mic. And then my third was a Comedy Central Presents. Fifth time Kimmel. There's a fourth time.
I thought the first time you went up was on Carson.
Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
went
thought you
up
got booked sight unseen. You hadn't even done comedy yet. They asked you if you'd be open to the idea
of doing comedy.
Yes.
I was like, well, what is it? I asked him that.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, I think Albert Brooks actually did that though. Like
What?
I think Albert Brooks like first
Yes.
performance was like the Tonight Show.
the
Like,
first
no
time he did,
open
like,
mics for
normal
him.
stand up was like there was something he did, and it was like he was a celebrity at that point, like movie guy, right?
I don't know how he ended up
I
there.
remember seeing a documentary where it was like something weird, like he's just going to do this for the first time.
It was
and
like it was maybe I'm getting this wrong, but I think like Rob Reiner
Right?
was friends
They're
with
buddies,
So yeah, and then Carl Reiner
right?
knew, you know, his son was friends with
Uh-huh.
I'm blanking on the guy's name now.
Brooks.
Albert Brooks. And he's like, this kid's funny, Johnny. You should put him on. Because he had this whole routine, and he just used to entertain the father and son. And the father was like, put him on the Tonight Show. And he was on the fucking Tonight Show. That's his jumping off point.
And I don't know, was it the ventriloquism act? Because he did that also at some point.
It was something about like,
It's really funny.
yeah, there was like a whole
Yeah.
tight 5 minutes.
Right.
That like totally worked.
And they're like, oh, if he thinks it's funny, it's funny. Kind of a
Right.
thing.
yeah, you don't have
it's
to
like-
run it by anybody.
Some people might not think it's funny.
Yeah, totally. But it's also like the Tonight Show audience is laughing, so that's that.
And also,
Right?
when you found out that Super Dave Osborne
Yeah.
was Albert Brooks's brother,
That's a
Yeah.
weird thing
that
to
like
discover.
blew my mind. I'm like, what?
Totally.
Marty Funkhauser?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I love the whole Funkhauser brand on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
So good.
You got Super Dave and Vince Vaughn are supposed to be brothers.
Right. Yeah, it's
know?
like that doesn't make Albert Brooks's real name is also weird. Like
Yeah.
Albert Einstein was his name, which is a crazy. Like his parents named him that.
Yeah.
You know who Albert Einstein is.
Sure.
You can't name him out. Your last name's Einstein. You can't have an Albert Einstein in your house.
Bold move.
There's another
Bold
weird thing
move.
on Curb Your Enthusiasm too, where like all these celebrities are playing themselves, but then Vince Vaughn is playing
Yeah.
like Steve Funkhauser or
That's-
whatever.
that's-
That's so weird.
That's what you got to love about that show,
Yeah,
though. They're
yeah.
just like, they don't give a shit. They just
Yeah.
decide who's going to be
Yep.
them and who's going to be not
yeah,
themselves.
Yeah, it's
I think if
wild.
you stuck around for 6 or 7, no, that's not true because Richard Lewis played Richard Lewis for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Most Ted
Wanda was
Danson.
Wanda. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
So, but then every once in a while, somebody famous
Would play
will play like Jeff Stevens, the next door neighbor.
Exactly.
Funkhauser.
I didn't
Such
get
a
to live
good
my
series.
dream. I always wanted to be on that show.
I mean, that could still come back.
No, it's not gonna happen.
They'll
man.
do like something. They'll do like an episode like in 10 years.
I don't know about
Maybe
that.
10
No.
years
Yeah.
are too far? 5?
Yeah.
What about
Larry
5?
David's in his late 70s. I
5?
highly doubt.
He seems healthy.
He does seem
does
healthy,
seem-
Cranky but healthy.
cranky and healthy.
Cranky and funny and healthy.
I love it.
He'll stay alive just in
Yeah.
spite of to spite people.
Yeah,
I will say, I didn't get on the
Spite
show.
life.
They filmed that show at the Herald Examiner. I don't know if you ever went down to the Herald when I worked there or not. I can't remember if you
The
ever been down
Herald
or-
Examiner.
it's like a
newspaper?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I
now-
had all the stages down there for filming and stuff like that. But we never did any bag stuff down there, so you probably never made it down there. But they filmed Curb there, an episode of Curb there, and when I was taking him, he comes, because for those that don't know, there's no real script,
Right.
so they have to see everything so that they can kind of decide what they want to do. So they scouted it, and we were walking through, and this is back when all those like reenactment shows were really popular, like unsolved mysteries and what could happen to you, all these things that were on there. And one of those shows was filming there, and he goes, "What are all those people over there?" And I go, "Well, those are all extras that get to be on this show because it's the first time somebody actually lets them say something out loud." And he just died laughing.
You made Larry David laugh?
I did. And
Oh,
I
dude.
consider that
Oh, that's pretty
like
big.
a one-on-one peak that I made him laugh.
That is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I wish I
At
had
other
that
people's
experience.
expense, but they didn't hear, so
Yeah,
they don't.
yeah.
And you didn't get in?
No.
You didn't get to sneak in?
So wait, you were working down there?
Yeah, I ran that place.
I worked
Okay.
down there too.
He
Did
worked
you
down
really?
there,
Yeah, totally.
Man,
If you had talked
everybody
to me long
works
enough,
down
you,
there.
I was going to say, pretty much everybody that was a comic that asked me for a job ended up working there.
Yeah.
like that blows my mind too. Like a lot of people when they came out here, they've worked so many other little spots and
Sure.
places and jobs.
Yeah.
When I came out here, I was already kind of like on the road.
Yeah.
So I never had to like go get jobs or like, not that I wouldn't have wanted to. It seems like it was kind of a cool way to like meet people and make
Right.
connections, but never had to do that.
Dude, the movie theater I worked at when I first moved here, first of
Right.
all, I had to walk past the Laugh Factory every day to get there. And I'm like, oh.
Someday.
I was so oblivious. I'm like, people still do stand-up comedy? Because, it's like the late 90s. I didn't know. And I'm like, that's one of the reasons I tried it. But also, this first
That's
job I
right.
get, and by the way, I got the job on the spot, just filling out the application. They just gave it to me. I know it's only a movie theater job, but still, that never happens.
That's fine.
And I ended up being...
It feels good when you get hired.
It does, man.
Right away off the bat, like, oh
Dude,
man, I'm
yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
I got something.
And then I ended up being in this indie movie, like this feature-length movie about the movie theater. And we filmed at the movie theater and like shot on film. And that's how I got an acting reel.
Ugh.
Like jobs are all right. I'm glad I don't have one right now.
Yeah.
But they take up too much time.
yeah,
But
it's
they
like
do pay money.
it's a Monday
That's a
through
huge thing.
Friday
That's a
thing
huge
sometimes.
thing.
Did you
in this world.
ever do server jobs?
I did, but I wasn't great at. You know what happened? I was a server on the Hornblower Cruises in Marina Del Rey.
The Hornblower cruises.
Dude,
So
you
like
get- you
little
get on
like
a boat.
drink like cruises with drinks and cocktails.
It's dinner
Uh-huh.
on a cruise. You just go around the marina, but
That's not really a cruise.
No, it's not really a cruise.
Yeah.
But that's how we pitch it.
Okay.
It's like driving a
Are
car.
people mad when they haven't really gone too far?
People get mad.
Like, wait a second, we're not
Did
really
we just go in a
cruising.
circle in the bay?
Can't we at least go up to like Santa Monica or down to Santa? I don't even know. You
Custom-
started in Venice.
No, we started in Marina
They
Del
pulled
Rey,
Del Rey.
They pulled
and we
blinds.
ended in Marina Del Rey because we never left Marina Del Rey.
This is like a circle.
Yeah,
For real.
It's the same boat they use in Arrested Development all the time. I don't know if you
Oh,
ever
yeah,
watched that
yeah.
show. Anyway, I was like, the easiest gig I had at that job was I was a bartender for a teen tour, which means you're just pouring soda
Oh,
and
yeah.
water.
Yeah.
And what my first gig at the Improv was a
Oh.
week later. It's the same teen tour.
Was it the same kids?
It's the
Oh
same
my
teen
God,
tour. It's
that's
the same
amazing.
kids.
I remember
That's
doing those at
amazing.
the Improv.
Now, did they remember?
No,
you did.
I
Only
actually
you.
said something like a jackass, but I didn't care. I was so happy I was playing the Improv and I was having a good
Yeah.
set. It was cool. I'm like, I know you, man. I started calling him. I'm like, you did this the other night. And he's like, how did you know that? And I'm like, because I was there, motherfucker.
Did you do any of the teen shows there? I
Yeah.
know, like some people were mortified to get those. I actually didn't want. I didn't care. It was fine.
Yeah, they're fun. They seem
But
like
some
they were having
people
a
get
good time.
scared, are like so afraid of teenagers, like they're like deathly afraid to get that gig and die.
I was young enough and just wanted to play the Improv that
Yeah.
bad that I was like, yeah.
I was just that same stage. I was like, I'll just take it. Yeah, I'll take it.
And that's the first time I met Tosh too. Or I didn't even meet him. He was just on the lineup. I was like, I was so naive. I was like, oh, I'm in at the Improv now. Let me see who I'm going to be working with every night.
Exactly.
And so I watched the
Every
whole
night.
show. Like I really thought that. I'm like, I'm in now.
But it's fun when you get on a lineup with like other like comics
Yeah.
that you love and watch, and they're like, oh, it is feeling like
Well,
you've
I
accomplished
was doing like, oh man, I can take that comic.
Mm-hmm.
I can take that comic. I can take that comic. And then Tosh went up and I was like, oh fuck.
That was
I
great.
can't take that comic.
Okay,
Hey, he was
that's
so
different.
funny.
That's different.
Yeah, he was so funny, dude. I was like, oh shit.
Yep.
You know?
That's really funny. Those teen shows. I forgot about those.
Yeah, man.
That's so funny. They just do tons of activities in LA.
Yeah, they do tons of
They
activities.
just take a bus
And yeah, they do. That's exactly what they
And
do.
a cruise.
and a cruise.
And then
Did you ever do any of the alcoholic ones?
No.
Like not the team, but like a normal like cruise.
Wait,
When you were
where
being-
people were alcoholic shows?
Well,
Like
you
a
know, when you
booze-
said the
like AA
bartender
shows?
one,
Oh,
you
booze
said it was
cruise.
easy
You
because
mean
it was
booze
just
cruises.
a teenage. Yeah. Did you ever just bartend for like have to do drinks?
Oh, no. I was a waiter
Uh-huh.
Like, did you take orders or it was pre-ordered and you just had to bring
It was
them out?
pre-ordered, but you had to take orders for appetizers and drinks, and that was not my strength. And I'm glad I'm not a waiter anymore. But I tried it. I would beg for them.
Appetizers at sea.
I would beg to be the runner because he would just run food from downstairs to upstairs. That was more my gig, you know.
Stairs.
It wasn't. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to trade.
It wasn't easy, but at least you didn't have to talk to anybody.
Was it easy?
You know?
Yeah, you can't really mess. Like they told me to bring this.
Yeah.
I don't know whose house the salad.
Yeah, no. I remember the first. I had no training, and like I was and
William Hung. I have no professional training.
They ordered a bottle of wine. My first customers, and I just put the bottle of wine on the table.
There you go.
Like, there you go.
The rest is up to you guys.
Their minds were blown. They're like, nobody's ever done that.
And I was shadowing this waitress, and she's like, "Matt, open it!" Like, I'm like, "Oh shit!" And oh my god.
Good.
Aaron, we got to go to Wendell. Otherwise, he's. I'd love to just keep talking to you, Eddie, but
next week.
Yeah, come back in.
You
I have
can
nothing
always
in
live
February.
via satellite too.
We're switching over to. We could always zoom you in if you wanted to, but I like you
Zoom?
here.
I like live via
I like you
satellite
here.
better.
Way better. Oh yeah.
Don't
That's
you?
Well, I could just be in the other room and Zoom.
Live
Yeah.
via satellite.
Live via satellite.
Right, that's how they used to interview all the athletes, live via satellite.
Live via satellite.
Yeah.
By the way, how great is it to use our full voices? The audience doesn't know. We had to be in the lobby, and now you have to be quiet in the
You have to
lobby.
whisper.
So he's just sitting here
We
talking.
walked in and you go, we can't make a lot of
Yeah,
noise.
we can.
But then we thought why don't we do that podcast at a church in a pew bench?
Right.
Whisper the whole time.
Yeah.
And there's music. There's a message.
I
If you
like-
care to
Everybody, they
partake.
say you have to have an angle.
Yeah.
Whispercast.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're at church.
Whispering in the pews.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a great title.
let's do it. Then I mean, like,
Yeah.
let's not put that in there because
It
somebody
feels
else will
like
do
sinners.
But
right, if
but
you're whispering in the pews.
I mean, to those people that are there not filming a podcast, yeah, we're sinners.
my fart.
Barry.
But I'll tell the audience we also still got shushed, even though we were whispering.
But I don't even know that. So I remember you opened the door
Yeah.
and the red light was on.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, we're going to go now. We're not ready. And shut the door. And then somebody came out really quickly.
Yeah.
And I was like, hi. I waved at her and she goes, hello. And then I walked off and then you got shushed, but I was
Yeah.
trying to make a coffee.
Yeah.
And I came in the door and saw you getting in trouble, and I
Yeah.
stayed
You
quiet.
had your
immediately.
umbrella.
I did have
It
an
was
He
all
umbrella.
was
wet,
He was happy because he got shushed the week before.
Yeah.
but you didn't get shushed.
No, I felt so
But you
good.
told me, you were the one like, hey, heard you guys got shushed. And I was like, wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And then, but you had got shushed.
Right.
But, but
Nothing-
in a polite way.
Well, yeah, but I also like that when we're talking loudly, like we're doing this podcast, but
Yeah.
then we're in the background of somebody else's podcast.
I mean, all the things you think won't happen to you when you become a grown-ass man still happen. That's what we're talking
Constantly.
about. Like,
Constantly.
Like, it's not even like funny how it keeps happening.
But
It's
don't-
like, what? At what point, what do I have to look like where you stop hassling me?
But don't you also think when you're a kid that adults know what they're doing? And
Yeah.
like they behave
Right.
themselves and follow the rules.
Completely
And then
don't
you
know.
grow up and find out like people are like risking death on the freeway just to break the rules. Eric Wendell, what
there
up?
he is. There he is. He's over there.
I see him behind you.
Trying to get my
Yeah, but then we
Oh.
can't. Then you're going to
You
be
can-
looking
I'll look
backwards.
over there.
You can look either way. Wendell's looking red
Yeah.
Turn
too.
your hat.
We're all
put your
looking red
glasses
on the
back of your
4K.
head.
Can you not hear us?
I can't hear anything.
Sometimes you got to
no.
unmute.
I
mean,
I
I
do
can
that
hear you.
all the
Oh, now
time
it's working.
badly. I'm bad with it.
What, with the Zoom?
Yeah, because I'm always forget to start my microphone and
Yeah.
headphones.
Right.
And I'm always like, you got it, you can't hear me?
Right.
And it's me,
Right.
always, 100%.
And you blew your opening line at the meeting. Ain't that a bitch?
yeah, my opening line. Hey, what's up? It's my opening.
Oh.
It's pretty
Dude, I
good.
use that.
I get
I
it.
use
but
that.
You guys do that?
Wendell, can you hear us?
Yeah, it's working now. I mean, I could hear you guys through the speaker on my iPad, but it wasn't coming through my earbuds. And
This
I'm like,
is-
what the fuck's
this-
going on?
First of all, it's 420, so smoke them if you got them.
Smoke 'em if you got it.
Second of
Yeah.
all, this is my friend Eddie Gosling.
Really
This is
is.
Eric Wendell.
Well, he's my friend too.
What's
but,
up, Eric?
it's-
Nice to meet you, Eddie.
Nice to
Brian's
meet you
involved.
too.
You're friends with everybody.
Yeah,
too?
I know Brian. Too. I know everybody.
Hey, Brian.
What's up? What's happening? Yeah, Appleton. What's up?
You guys know each
You
other.
know
You were
my
just
old
on my
name.
You were like
podcast together.
Smoke.
shirtless
right
in
now.
Appleton at one point.
Maybe.
You're just walking around shirtless during a festival during the day. Had a couple beers, and I'm like, "What, Brian?
Midwest.
What's up with you?" And you're like, "Oh, should I put?" And somebody was scared, not of you, but just like in general, like, "Where did he go and come back with no shirt?" Do you remember this?
No, I have no idea.
Oh.
You sure you're not talking about Chad Daniels?
No, it was not Chad. It was
Okay.
you. Because I was like, Chad, I'd expect it.
Yeah,
like
okay,
he's
that-
me,
that's
but
what I'm
you, I
saying,
was
see?
like, why do you not? Where's your shirt? Anyways, hey,
Wendell.
what's up, Wendell?
Wendell.
What's up?
We asked last week if you would do like kind of a, spoiler alert, but give a positive review to a good movie, just for a change of pace. And I'm wondering where you're at with that.
It's it's kind of, I think I accomplished that, but it's kind of a hard ask. Like, I'm not psychic. I don't know if this movie I'm going to pick on whatever streaming service is going to be good. More than likely, it's not going to be good. So it's kind of a hard task.
Well,
unless I'm going to watch 5-6 movies in a row.
All right. Well, this is definitely a spoiler alert. I can tell how this review is going to go.
I might surprise you. I got lucky on. I don't know. I guess it was the second movie. I watched 2 movies. The first movie was okay. It was pretty good. But this movie was really good.
All right. So what movie are you reviewing?
I watched a movie called Winner on Hulu.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, what's this about? Like, I watched the trailer. I'm like, it's based on a true story. It's actually a biography. This chick her name is Reality Winner, right? I mean, that's crazy enough as it is, right?
Hold on a second. That's her real name? I always hear her referred to as that on social media. But that's her real name that her parents named her?
Her parents named her that.
I've seen this movie.
Are crazy hippies and shit, I guess.
All right. Let's let Wendell cook on it
a
little bit.
Yeah, this is actually based on a true story. She's kind of like an Edward Snowden-ish adjacent type person who, she's from Texas. She grew up shooting guns. She grew up like trying to change the world, change things for the better. She joins the Air Force. She spends 4 to 6 years in the Air Force. I forget. I think it was 6. She's wanting to go like to Afghanistan and get in the fight and all this and help change the world for the better and all this type of stuff.
Mm.
But she never gets to go, and she gets tired of just doing whatever in the Air Force, sitting at a desk like translating. She knows like a bunch of different languages, Farsi and Pashto and all this stuff from the Middle East. So she gets a job at the NSA, because they pay $150,000 a year starting out, so it's a much better gig than the Air Force. And she finds some stuff that she doesn't like how Russia really did try to interfere with the 2016 election. So it's kind of a current fucking topic, right?
Sure.
And she releases, or she downloads and prints out an article that's supposed to be top secret or whatever, like that proves that Russia actually interfered with the election or tried to, right?
Yeah.
The article she printed out doesn't have any like fucking crazy stuff in it about, like, it doesn't say that they actually succeeded in affecting and changing the election or anything. They said they tried to hack, like, I think it said it tried to hack like different servers or different voting things and shit like that.
All right.
So of course she gets in trouble, right?
Yeah.
She's not allowed to. You're not allowed to do that. And that's the basis of the movie,
So you're not allowed to put out top secret information to the general public.
Yeah, of course you're not allowed to release stuff. You're not allowed to print stuff at the NSA and take it out the front fucking door. You get fucking patted down and you have to go through metal detectors and all this type of stuff.
Paper detectors.
So she knew she was doing stuff wrong, but she's always been a rebel. She was, she was the guy that would call you a liar in the mall in front of a crowd of people if you're trying to sell snake oil or whatever. Just stuff like that, right?
All right.
She does other things, but I'm not going to give everything away.
Sure.
But
you can tell us if you like the movie. What are you giving the movie? Or is there more to tell?
It was go ahead. Sorry, man.
Is there more to tell, or I think that's pretty much the premise of the movie,
no,
right?
I don't want to tell too much more. You got to watch the movie and check it out for yourself. It was really good. It's a true story. It's a biopic. It's got Zach Galifianakis in it, who actually has a pretty much serious role. Like, he jokes a little bit, but it's not the Zach Galifianakis from Between Two Ferns and other shit that you've seen. Like,
right.
He's playing a serious role. And his wife is Connie Britton in the movie.
Nice.
And no, it was a very good movie, and you should definitely check it out. It's on Hulu. You just have to sit through the horrible ads.
Aren't you going to say who played Reality Winner?
Well, Reality Winner was played by someone named Amelia Jones, who I don't recognize.
Oh, I
at
thought
all.
Sydney Sweeney played that role. No, was that? Am I thinking of
No.
another one?
I don't know.
I thought you said you
uh,
saw it.
I saw this movie.
That's White Lotus.
I don't know that one.
It's another adaptation.
Oh, there's two of them?
2023.
Okay, thank you. All right,
Wait,
so I'm
maybe
not,
that's the one I saw.
Thank you, Aaron. I'm not crazy.
'Cause I'm like,
was
I don't remember Zach in
I
this.
was like, why did he not lead with
Maybe
this?
you just got Sydney Sweeney vision. Like a lot of women you look at, you're like, oh, that's Sydney Sweeney.
I know
'cause
that's
you
a
like her
thing.
so
I
much.
know
Yeah.
that's a thing, but no.
I wish Sydney Sweeney was in this.
Look at
bro.
how
There
look at
should
how
be
much
like-
look at how much he lighted
I'm a
up.
big
Why don't you
fan.
go see the other one and compare the two?
There should be like 300 Sydney
Oh.
Sweeneys just running around.
What's
Dude,
the name of the
she's
other
awesome.
movie?
Sweeney
It's
Todd.
I
an
didn't know there was
HBO
another one.
it's an
You're
HBO
telling me there's
adaptation.
another version of this movie with Sydney Sweeney in it.
Yeah,
We're finding out right now.
You watched the wrong one.
What is it, Aaron?
It's called Reality.
This
called
the other one's
Reality.
called Reality. Do you have HBO Max?
No.
Oh,
not
never
anymore.
mind.
So
I was
you
gonna say
saw
you could-
Winner, and the other one's called Reality.
Wow, I watched them
And it's
together.
Reality Winner. That's crazy.
Double
that-
Yeah,
feature.
double feature.
All right, so what
That's
are you
great.
giving your movie? Reality.
I thought it was great. I
Or
give
Winner.
it 5
Winner.
hot tubs.
How 5 hot tubs?
Yeah, it was
All
great.
right.
I really liked
I
it.
thought he said 5 hot
Well-
dogs. I was like, oh.
Imagine 5 hot tubs with Sydney Sweeney in the mix.
Ooh.
Wait, is 5 hot tubs the top?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Okay, so what?
Because it could be 10.
No,
I don't know.
That's the top.
Well,
don't
so
know, I
you
gotta
saw
make-
it, and how
No,
did
no,
you feel about
It's
it?
5.
But I'm trying to remember now if I saw Reality or if I saw Winner. But I saw this story.
You'd know if you saw
The
Reality.
best part was like it was like an hour 20. It was
Oh.
like I go, that's great.
Yeah.
You're in and you're out. And it
Yeah.
was good. And they based all the dialogue off of the notes taken by the actual kind of like that was from the report.
Cool.
So is that the one you saw?
My version was an hour 43.
All right.
Oh.
And
So I
you
saw
Sydney
Reality.
Sweetie.
You saw Reality. He saw Winner.
Hey, all right.
Your chocolates and my
'Cause I was
peanut
like, I
butter.
don't remember Zach in that.
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, but
No,
you
it was
also don't
really
remember
good.
Sydney
I had to
Sweeney,
look
which
her up
is
'cause I've never heard of Amelia Jones.
I don't know
didn't
people's
recognize
names.
anything she was
Okay.
in.
all right. Well,
And-
we got
Yeah.
to run. Thanks for the movie review,
The positive.
the positive movie review.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
top
5
the
hot
5 hot
tubs.
tubs. Mad love, great to see you. I love the glasses. I love the whole new look. I love the whole new attitude that comes with the new apartment. Congratulations, you
Yeah.
are the winner,
Yeah.
Eric Wendell. You
Thanks, man.
are the winner. Thanks for listening, and we're out. Thanks to Eddie Gosling.
Thanks.
And we're
Thanks to
out.
you guys.